All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Oregairu, Season 3, Episode 2.
Oh boy.
Okay, we had a really solid first episode here with Komachi. Kind of a follow-up
Adorable.
on the conversation that was like halfway given at the end of Season 2.
Yeah, Yui spoke her piece basically, but then,
but that we got Yukino's turn basically in this previous episode.
And she's going to face her family. She's striking out to fight her own battle and stuff, and way to go.
Way to go.
You go, girl.
Yeah, so Kawasaki Saki ends up, we end up bumping into her with her little sister.
She's adorable.
Across the street from the place where Komachi is taking her entrance exams.
Right.
So that was a fun little way to kind of showcase a character that we hadn't seen in a while, but someone who also had maybe a little bit of a misconstrued idea of our boy Hachiman.
Yeah.
And she got a little bit of a new perspective in that regard.
Aishiteru.
Yeah. So, okay.
Here we
this
are.
coming episode here. We had good stuff with Komachi. I feel like it's time to go back to kind of normalcy with having like just kind of general school stuff.
Sure.
And then maybe also maybe some stuff with Hayama.
Possibly,
I feel like that's due at this point.
Possibly some stuff with Yui.
Well, of course,
since
with Yui.
Yukino will, be out of the
she
picture.
says she's normalcy.
Right. Yeah.
I'm talking like who are the characters that be like excited to see because they're not necessarily guaranteed to show up.
I feel like
very much
Hayama
want
would be the main one.
Yeah. So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, then come back here for the discussion. All right, well, we get a lot of focus, like a smattering across all the characters that have been kind of the recently, like, more main characters than just the original three with Haruno, Iroha, and Hayama.
Yes.
So, okay. I really loved both the Iroha and Haruno moments here.
Yeah,
Hayama's was very minimal in terms of his actual involvement in the episode.
Yeah. I feel like it was more of him doing the sort of observer thing and seeing how other people responded and what they did and things like that.
And just specifically with Hachiman. Like, he only interacted with Hachiman.
Sorry. Yeah. I meant everything that I just said. I meant about Hachiman.
But that makes sense. Yeah. So Hayama basically quickly comes in, and they have a little encounter at the vending machine, and it's a little bit of a test of how are things going?
Yeah.
And it felt kind of like so are you going to be okay? Now with, what's changing, what's going on? The other younger sister.
More of that. Talking about the thing without actually talking about the thing.
Right, which is a nice lead into Haruno calling him the big brother.
Right.
Which is cool in a really
few ways,
really powerful way, because it's her acknowledging how much Yukino has changed because of Hachiman.
Sure.
It's basically saying, wow, I wish I would have had an older brother like you. It's like, well, wait. What is Hachiman an older brother like? It's like, well, we kind of know. We know now. Yeah. Yukino as a person is very different from where she was in season 1.
Oh yeah.
After meeting Hachiman.
And one of the things that I also think is kind of fun about that is that, given that Hayama did the whole little sister, mentioned the little sister thing, and then Haruno mentioned the whole big brother thing.
Yeah.
That makes me think that they might talk about this.
Yes.
And hence them using the similar kinds of turns of phrase. And
eventually, something along these lines will be mentioned between the two of them. Yeah.
But good stuff that happened here.
It's also another one of those things where I felt there was a possibility you would get a bit like, oh, that's frustrating. Is that it shows how Haruno sees the club.
Yes.
And there's a very serious dismissal of Yui.
Yep. Well,
you
think I'd be surprised by that?
No. But I think that's part of the thing of where Haruno, we call her the surgeon, the seamstress, the one that's sewing her way into everyone's lives. But really, in some ways, she's been the biggest shipper of Yukino and Hachiman, because she knows. She's the older sister. She knows who Yukino likes.
Right, she knows who Yukino likes. She's also the one who's going to inherit the business. So she is comfortable being in various environments and doing various things in order to get what she wants. Right? And that was demonstrated with the whole thing of, sniffing the jacket and then making sure that Hachiman sniffs the jacket and, cigarettes, right? She was probably at some big business meeting, drinking with the other, like I'm imagining like cigar smoking, like businessmen, this stuff, right? And she was thriving in that environment. Right?
Well, yeah, she was doing well enough that she only needed a couple drinks that night.
Sure.
But
sure.
that doesn't have to be related at all.
But then also the whole idea of her saying like, no, I don't really get drunk. And now, everyone's got to be drunk on something. I don't think she's talking about liquor. I think she's talking about the feelings, right? And that's the situation, right? When it comes to her sister.
I'm not a great older sibling like you, Hachiman.
Exactly, right. I don't. Yeah. So even
I don't
when
care either way.
Right. When I try and help my sister, I am trying to help my sister. It's for her best interest, but I'm not as
kind.
I'm not as kind. I'm not as invested in the same way that you might be with, say, Komachi.
Okay. There's a difference, though. There's a difference between investment and the method of which she shows her investment.
Yeah.
I think she's actually very invested because Yukino has never chosen things for herself up until this kind of recent time in her life here.
And hence why she's getting so involved, right?
Exactly.
And that's why, of course, Yui, she doesn't even see Yui, right? She's just like, she's
like, you're really helpful.
You're a person here. I kind of acknowledge your existence.
You're a much nicer sister than me, but you're a younger sister.
Well, and when it comes right down to it, you're an obstacle, but you're not much of an obstacle.
Obstacle?
In that if she's wanting to get Yukino to basically go after whatever it is that she wants, to actually do something that is because it's what she wants, it's what she decides, regardless of whether it's wrong or not, right? Okay. Regardless of whether it'll work or not.
Sure.
Yui is a great example of that negative force that offers that resistance to Yukino going after what she wants with regards to Hachiman, right?
You just said, wait. You're talking about Yui being the negative force, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Yui is the negative force for Yukino. Yeah,
I think you might have said Yukino twice, and my brain shorted out for a second.
I might have. I'm not sure.
Bad.
But in a similar situation with how Yui has been reticent with regards to the whole situation because she can see, especially now after seeing that picture, just how much Yukino likes Hachiman, and the idea of having it all might not actually work,
Or at the very least, not something genuine. This
right.
is the kind of this is the maybe the tie-in in some ways to the Haruno situation, is that Haruno is in some ways entirely genuine about the fact that she's not going to pander to her sister.
Sure.
She's very abrasive, and yet she is also very invested. When her sister basically starts to decide things for herself and make these big kind of changes here,
she's supportive.
She's very supportive. Now, she's not enthused. She's not Iroha or Yui, where she's going to clap and cheer and hug and do all this stuff.
No,
there.
she's the cold businesswoman, basically. Like, and she's like, all right, I'll do my part when the time is right. Yeah. In a way that doesn't jeopardize my own position or standing or anything like that. But I will give you that support.
But that's the thing that's actually rather interesting, is I think that Haruno is actually willing to jeopardize her position a little bit, because Yukino coming into this dynamic and making these kinds of decisions, she doesn't necessarily know the full extent as to what she'll get out of it from mom. But I think in some ways she's actually really wanting her, her younger sister here to go full bore and get everything. But if she gets what she wants,
then she would
actually take the business away from Haruno.
And that's why I think it's one of those things where Haruno isn't worried about a little bit of competition, because she's confident that she will still be able to get what she wants.
So, can I throw out something here? We've never actually heard Haruno say that she wants the business.
That is true. That is true.
I will say that that's very telling.
Okay.
Because all of her resistance against... Sorry, just one thing. Her resistance against Yukino has never been about whether or not she's going to get the business. It's about Yukino making decisions for herself.
Yes. One of the things that she did bring up, though, in this is that by giving up, that's when she'll actually start to grow up. right? And I think
Yes,
that
but the
is
context. I believe what she said when she was talking about giving up.
it was the idea that she won't actually get what she wants from mom. And whether that's we're assuming that there's that arranged marriage thing with Hayama or whatever as some sort of business thing, right? But assuming that that's the case, she won't. Haruno's saying, I don't think she'll get that from mom, but I want my sister to try. Mm-hmm. Two, the other thing that she wants, being the inheritor of the business, right? The next family head. I don't think that's going to happen either. But I want her to try, right? Because the actual trying and realizing that, there's limitations, right? That's what will make Yukino actually grow up and not be the sort of stubbornly idealistic young paladin.
Sure. I just wanted to bring up the idea that she doesn't care about the result. She very much kind of says that, like, regardless of the way that this ends up going, it's all about whether or not she's actually willing to make these decisions for herself. And then just, regardless of the result, she's already made the decision. So it's good for her in that regard.
Right.
And this
is
is
she cares about her sister, yeah.
Right. This is probably the first time, first time she's ever made one of these decisions like that, which is rather bold to say, Haruno, because you don't literally, like, spy on your sister 100% of the time. It's been decisions that she's made that you aren't necessarily aware of that are probably her decisions, yeah.
Although she has said in the past, have you ever had an original thought? Like...
Yeah. But again, we don't have Haruno, like, spying in the background.
Totally.
We have those little one-on-one conversations.
It's an
with
exaggeration to make a point.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. But she's basically also acknowledging that she's not going to be she isn't anymore the good older sister. So she's not like. I'm trying
unpack that a bit because it seemed like to me like she was saying that now I'm actually for the first time ever being a good sister, but that's not a thing I intend to make a habit,
Right. She kind of makes the point of, like, okay, then I need you to watch over her. Mm-hmm. I was actually a good big sister for once, and he's like, well, maybe always being a good big sister might be better. So yeah, maybe that is saying that here you're being a good big sister, but then she's like, oh no way, I'm not gonna do that all the time. Like, that's definitely not.
I'm not like you.
Who I am. I'm not like you. And yeah, then she makes her
whole drunk commentary,
her drunk monologue here.
Yeah,
which is, it's really sad.
Yes,
because
absolutely
what she says here is it feels like I'm watching a stranger somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Now she's the stranger.
Sure.
In this instance here.
Yep, a stranger to herself. Yeah. Like she talks about it like it's an out of body experience. She's puppeting some human machine with a remote control.
Right. But the reason why she's liked Hachiman all this time is because she sees herself in him. There's an aspect of who he is in this, watching a stranger basically go about making these decisions here. That out of body experience, if you will, is something that I think she sees in him or saw in him at a specific time.
Okay.
But the cool thing about Hachiman is he's also grown tremendously over the last couple seasons.
Well, he wants something genuine, and quite frankly, that's, I would say, the that's where they split.
It very well
because
could be, yeah.
Because in the same way that she's like, I was a good big sister for once, but this isn't my style. I'm not like you. Because when it comes right down to it, Hachiman does want to be like. I feel like it's something where because of past hurt, Hachiman sort of removed himself from himself. Right? He tried to basically be that person that's just has the remote control and puppeting himself. Right?
Basically, yeah.
But then he realized he didn't actually want that. He was hurting people by doing that, and
he was hurting himself.
Yeah. Whereas with Haruno, one, she's been doing this for a very long time. Two, she's very good at that remote control stuff, right? She's very good at being that surgeon. And
she's probably been doing it for too long.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's the thing.
And that's why I think Hiratsuka Sensei is the perfect foil for Haruno, because Hiratsuka Sensei is the person who doesn't do that,
No.
right? And there's a whole bunch of other issues that come for Hiratsuka as a result of that, right? Oh, why can't I ever get married? And, and things like that, right?
Right. She's so imperfect.
Right.
But someone marry her already.
Right. But she knows who she is, right? And Haruno, and when it comes right down to it, I would say she likes who she is. She has struggles with what's going on, but
right.
There isn't that same kind of coldness towards herself.
Yeah, I got you. I feel like these characters, all in general, though, none of them really know who they are, though. That's kind of the point of a lot of the story.
That's the journey of life, is getting to know who you are and
right.
self-actualization.
And I would definitely go out on a limb and say that Hiratsuka is one of the most mature, realized people in terms of life, wisdom, experience,
other
and all
than
that.
maybe Komachi,
Komachi.
because she's the one where the author was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna break the rules for her.
And that's part of the thing of where I really like that Hiratsuka does interact with Hachiman a lot of the times as a peer.
Oh, sure.
And it's that she doesn't consider herself to have necessarily like this monopoly on wisdom to give to people. I feel like there's times where Komachi almost like playfully pretends to be like that.
Yeah.
Maybe,
I am the sage,
Yes. And
that was worth a lot of points, right?
Right. And then Hiratsuka, I feel like, will just speak from the heart. There's no filters. There's no play
she punches
acting
him
or
in
anything.
the gut when she gets pissed. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But okay. Iroha brought into the story again.
Excellent stuff.
And we see she is changed.
She's changed.
She is so different now.
And yet, one of the reasons that I think I love Iroha whenever she comes on screen, similar things with Komachi too, but she's so entertaining, right? With just the antics that she does and things like that. And then amidst the comedy, amidst the, oh yeah, I just used the student council fund, so it really cost me $0, Then it's the, you know what? No, I really would love your help. You know what? No, even if it doesn't really make sense to try right now, I'm still going to,
Yeah. During the time that Iroha is about to come in and stuff, we do see that Yui's distracted by something, and we get the reveal as to kind of what that was at the end of the episode. Right, flashback to
she saw the
bit
picture.
There.
Yeah,
but the idea of them watching a very American,
cheesy,
Western kind of prom, high school.
Oh my god, where you have
TV show
where you have people that are in their mid-20s playing the high schoolers.
Exactly. That was hilarious. And then her little banter about this is for research purposes. And I wouldn't do this at home because, I don't like to work in my off hours. But if I was at the student council room and they saw me watch this, they'd think I was slacking off.
Right. Yeah.
So this is you guys helping me. This is what your club does, right?
Excellent excuses to keep coming to the service club, Iroha.
Iroha is sometimes a genius.
Yeah.
Your 5D chess comment just is so true, though.
If she was just introduced at the start of the series, right?
Yeah.
With Yukino and Yui.
Yeah, really.
I'm positive that she would take the cake. She would steal the show. She'd be like, no, I will maneuver these other girls out of the way. And
it's so good. Because there's a very, very undeniable way you could explain this as to how she's all just maneuvering Hayama into position for her to snatch him, right? It's very much something that they
because they know she likes Hayama, right? She confessed to him. She got rejected by him. She said she wouldn't give up on him.
Right, yeah.
Sure. Definitely what it is. And then there's the part where I forget what line exactly it was, but I think it was talking about Hayama and the whole idea of the prom king or whatever. And then she stops. And it's the most obvious,
Yeah. And it was funny as well because the initial reason that she states for doing this is because she wants to be prom queen. It's not about making Hayama into a very convenient date opportunity by putting them together on a stage where they're both radiant and beautiful.
Oh, by the way, Hachiman, are you going to be repeating a grade?
Yeah.
Which is a great joke, quick
Oh,
little stab.
Super funny, yeah.
But it's also
so obvious.
Is there any chance, by the way, since I know my chances aren't good, I'm
have
doing
little time.
I'm doing the Death Star trench run here. You know, it's like only 2 meters wide. I don't know if I can land that. You know, right?
So true.
I don't suppose by any chance you're just going to be like held back a year, right? You know, I don't suppose that
You
maybe
could just help me, and you know,
I'll get a second.
Do it next year.
Get another chance next year.
Yeah.
No, really? And no chance. Okay. All right.
And this is
Certainty
something
of death, small chance of success.
to make a very bad kind of comparison here, but I just love it.
Yeah.
Iroha is the gamer girl that understands the real meta of the game. She's like, okay, but all you fools playing the like high.
How quaint, yeah.
Yeah, you're all running the heroes with very high pick rate, but not actually the ones with the highest win rate. I have a 1.2% chance of higher win rate with this, because even though this hero only gets picked 0.7% of the time, you know.
Right. I will go specifically off meta in order
Off
to beat
meta
you.
to counter the meta.
Right.
Like, she's so fun to watch, and yet it's so earnest and manipulative in the like both sides of it.
I
You know?
feel like in a lot of ways she's a similar in a similar character kind of situation to like Toph and Airbender, but take romance and substitute it for bending, where it's the too powerful to actually be in the main conflict, so you keep her sidelined, but you still give her chances to shine, right? Because like, I'm actually kind of glad that she's not one of the main girls, right? Because then I feel like
it would come to full bore battleships broadsiding at each other.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Because her schemes would get found out too quickly by
exactly.
Let's be real. She is smart, but she is outclassed in actually a couple areas here where Yukino's like, "What's the reason for this?" And she's like,
like she feels like Hayasaka when Kaguya's like, all right, now go get his number or whatever, you know, in a day, right? What?
It's the kind of thing where she was so terrified of Yukino, probably because she knows Yukino and like each other. But not only that, Yukino practically just casually starts grilling her in a way that most people don't like. So when people say they want a thing, right, or they're going to do a thing, one of the very, very revealing kind of questions, if they're willing to go along with the discussion of it, is why. And
like honest answers and things, not obfuscation and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Because most people, when they do a thing, their motivations are very simple. Like they're very basic. It's I want a thing. I'm scared of a thing. I love a thing. You know, it's very, very like one like specific thing there. Yeah. But when you're like trying to orchestrate the prom dynamic so that Hachiman, who is actually like the most popular boy kind of now in the school, to, you know, and actually a pretty good looking boy too, you know, to potentially set up to be prom king so that she
in a stunning turn of events
queen,
with her being the obvious prom queen. You know?
Yeah, right, exactly. Yukino might not know everything that she's doing, but she can very easily.
Yukino's not an idiot.
Oh yeah, she has a bloodhound for bullshit.
Right,
You know, she's just like
she might sometimes miss social cues and things like that, but when it comes to someone spouting bullshit, like just you know, she's like X.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, Iroha is telling the truth.
Yes,
for the most part,
and that's what makes it the perfect lie.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But it's the hint of it. It's not that she's spouting it, because she's genuine about the fact that she really wants this
concealment and obfuscation.
Yeah, there's just one little factor that's you know
it's like that. It makes me feel like Ender's Game or something, where if they have all the fighters that are trying to draw the fire, but they actually have like the real weapon, you know, like hidden beneath all of them, like.
I just love how much charisma Iroha has when she's in the midst of these things, because then when she goes and like hugs
oh my god, I freaking love you.
Yeah, it's so over the top, but the please don't do that ever again, and then Yukino's just like, oh okay, and then the goofy aspect
Just-
of her being like, okay, yeah,
That
yeah.
was my own personal decision.
Right. And in some ways, I'm not like this one here. I'm
Right.
not gonna make you all. I'm not gonna try and like
Yeah.
super convince you all with.
I'm going to now be honest and upfront with you about what I actually want. I want
Mm-hmm.
your support. I don't actually want your help. You know, I want to do this on my own, but I would love for you to be encouraging me and,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I would be grateful,
Right.
but I'm actually wanting to choose this to be my thing.
Right.
Now, one of the things that I feel like might be an undercurrent here is that Yui is watching how tough this game is going to be. And
Yes.
one of the ways that Yukino quickly might have just caught on to everything is that she's like, oh, you're trying to set something up here, Iroha. Well, then I'll help you.
But I'm going to keep Hachiman out of it.
Well, not keep him out of it. She's going to set herself up.
Sure.
Yukino, I mean, I
Yeah.
don't think she's necessarily the kind of person to do it in the Iroha way.
Right, she doesn't use underhanded tactics.
But I think she is thinking about this as like I actually might want to be involved in this because there's something in this that I want.
Uh-huh.
And,
Oh, yeah. I can totally see Yukino being the type of person that's like, all right, this is what I'm going to do it. I'm going to ask Hachiman to the prom.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah,
That's the plan.
yeah,
you know?
yeah. And
Have an event that I organized and things like that, and so I'm making sure it's all up to snuff and whatnot.
right. But then there's also just the character thing of this is a part of my start. The
Right.
other night I decided to make a lot of decisions for myself.
And I had you there as like a fallback, you know,
Right.
safety net, right?
Yeah.
And now I want to do it without the safety net.
Exactly.
You know?
Ah,
and it's not as big of a deal as confront my family and all that stuff, right?
No,
You
it's
know,
much simpler.
much simpler.
Much simpler. In fact, it's something that she's really good at as compared
Indeed.
to confronting her family, which she has no experience at.
Yeah, right. So it's, you know, she's acknowledging her strengths as well here. Of I think I got this.
Right.
If I don't, I would love your help, but
Yeah.
I think I got this, and I want to give it the old college try. You know.
And that's just another way that the group is, slightly starting to
Yeah.
diverge
Yep,
from
yep.
where they are not dependent, but they're getting more interdependent, which
Right.
is more genuine, which means, oh no, Yui,
Yeah.
we're going to need you to Yui's probably going to make her play with Hachiman in the next couple episodes or so.
Potentially.
But I think it might have gotten pushed back a bit.
Well, and here's so okay. Now, I'm a Yui shipper, right? So this might come across as just me being like, this is my wishful thinking or whatever for Yui or whatever, because I really love her as a character and stuff. That's not what this is. So, this is, with what happened with showing Yui and how she was behaving differently and then getting the reason why at the end of the episode where it's the picture.
Yeah.
With Yukino just having the most free smile on her face and grabbing Hachiman's arm as they go down the ride, right? Yui is, the thing that she said at the end of the last season.
Oh.
I want it all.
Right, yeah.
Right? I want, well, subtext, I want Hachiman, but I also want my friendship with you, Yukino. I want the club. I want all of it, right?
Yep.
Now, she's starting to realize that she can't have that.
No.
And that's the big reason why she's kind of pulling back from Hachiman, because she's realizing, from what I can see, oh,
I'm going to have to choose.
this is how much Yukino cares about Hachiman. Maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe I didn't fully realize what I would be getting in the way of, what I would be breaking, damaging, whatever. Would my friendship with Yukino actually be seriously, permanently hurt because of this, even if I did win? I don't know if I want to mess with that. Now, this is where I would love to see it go.
Oh, okay.
That is an acknowledgement of, or it's an example, it's a manifestation of Yui's weakness, right?
Ah, okay.
Because that was her struggle
Okay.
over the course of the whole series, right? Is
Okay.
being confident enough to really go after the things that she wants, regardless of whether the people around her agree with that or what they feel about that or whatever. Being
Or
true
what
to
their
herself.
response
Or
is
what their
to her.
response is, right?
Yeah.
Now, there's a way, though, that she can still address the question or the statement of "I want it all"
Yeah.
here, even if she
True.
doesn't go after Hachiman. Because
True.
if she's saying "I want it all,"
Yeah.
right? Even if she starts to back off from Hachiman, by doing that, one, what you're kind of losing some of the connection with Hachiman because you like him a lot, right?
Right.
And that, and you say you don't want anything genuine, right? But at the same time, you said you want it all,
Yeah.
right? Two, if Yukino ends up with Hachiman, will you truly, genuinely be able to keep that relationship with her?
Right.
And while she said in this episode, I've never wanted anything genuine, right? I feel like that was coming from that place of weakness, right? Where she just wanted everything to sort of go smoothly, no conflict, all of that stuff. And what I would love to
Which
see...
might have been where that statement originally was of "I want it all." That was born from.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And it could be that. And this is just an idea of a
Yeah.
way that they could handle her arc resolution,
Okay.
since she's not going to end up with Hachiman, right? Is that she then realizes, okay, even if I don't end up with Hachiman, I need to make sure that I still get it all. Because if that is happening, and I can't and don't want to change that, I need to make absolutely sure within myself, genuinely, that everything else is good, right? That in this triangle, right, where there's the relationships between all the three characters, even if one leg isn't romantic anymore,
Yeah.
it's still a solid triangle,
Yeah.
right?
And that feels like what the ED is about, is that
Yeah.
they find a way to basically remain really close over
Yes.
the course of just the story's resolution. Yeah.
Yeah, because the fact that she was forcing herself to smile when she was alone,
Yeah.
that really surprised me, and it also I feel like that's very telling, because that means that you're not being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
You're putting on a front for yourself, and that's where I would love to see her grow, because that, like, can you imagine how awesome that would be? Where it's she gets her heart broken and everything, but then at the same time, like, she still overcomes that character struggle that she's been working on since the beginning of the show. Like,
Yeah, she has to want something genuine, though,
right. Yeah. So,
which is maybe something that we can see play out in another character dynamic, and then she can observe it and be like, oh.
possibly.
I would very much like that to be the way that they play it out with Hayama, is that's the example that she gets, and she goes,
Oh, okay.
oh, okay.
Gotcha.
And then she basically takes that and kind of goes, and I'm going to put my spin on that, and then bring this into the dynamic here. Yeah, but seriousness. This episode was very much a goofy episode for a good portion
Yes.
of the middle of it.
Oh, yeah.
But it was bookended by some very, very good introspective moments.
Oh, yeah.
I very much am looking forward to the idea of a more goofy kind of segment of the story, with it
Okay.
being centered around, let's get a
prom dance going.
classic kind of like high school musical prom thing. I want them to parody the shit out of just
definitely.
some kind of like
I'm thinking
high school
like
prom. I want it to be really,
it makes me think like
really
that
funny.
episode of Space Dandy, where
Oh, sure.
But-
sure, yeah.
So the other thing last thing I want to say for this episode is that the bit from the OP where it shows Yui and Yukino dancing. Dancing,
yes.
I mentioned that I loved seeing that in OPs. Not like coordinated, choreographed dances, but like dancing with another person.
Just casual.
And when I think of dancing, what it represents to me is the idea of complicated movements, but at the same time being carefree, right? There being a like that that throughout the crazy beat of the music, right? Whatever's happening circumstantially in the show with these two characters, Yui and Yukino find a way to step to the beat.
Nice. I
And,
love it.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us and the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
Next time.